The surface of the alien planet was nothing like Earth. Jagged cliffs rose sharply into the pinkish sky, and strange plants with translucent leaves swayed in the faint wind. Captain Ryan Hayes stepped carefully, his boots crunching against the rocky ground. The distress signal had led him here, a faint beacon from a colony that no one had heard from in weeks. Normally, Ryan preferred structured missions, but this one felt different, dangerous. He tightened the straps of his backpack and glanced around. The atmosphere was breathable, but the air had a strange metallic scent. His sensors detected no immediate threat, yet something in the silence made his muscles tense. He had trained for hostile encounters before, but something about this planet's quiet energy sent chills through him. Ryan moved forward, using the rocky terrain for cover. The colony buildings were scattered in the distance, half buried under dust and debris. As he approached, he noticed signs of a struggle: broken walls, scorch marks, and deep gouges in the metal structures. His heart rate quickened, but he stayed calm. Panic was useless here. Suddenly, a shadow moved overhead. Ryan froze, instinctively pressing his back against a jagged rock. The shadow descended, landing with a force that made the ground tremble. From the swirling dust, a figure emerged. She was tall, far taller than any human, with an imposing frame wrapped in sleek, dark armor. Her eyes glowed a deep amber, and her posture radiated alertness. Every movement she made was precise, controlled, and full of silent power. Ryan exhaled slowly, keeping his hands visible. "I come in peace," he said, his voice steady. The alien warrior's eyes narrowed. She hissed, a sharp, threatening sound that cut through the quiet air. "You'll die in seconds, human," she said, her voice cold and dangerous. Every word carried the weight of a warning. Her hand moved toward a weapon at her hip, and Ryan noticed the sleek curve of an energy blade. He had seen similar weapons in simulations, but seeing one in real life was intimidating. Instead of taking a step back, Ryan slowly removed his jacket, folding it neatly in his hands. He took a small step forward. His movements were calm, deliberate, showing no sign of fear. The alien's amber eyes widened slightly, registering his audacity. Few humans, if any, had ever stood before her without trembling. "I'm not your enemy," Ryan said. "I'm here to help. There's a colony nearby that sent a distress signal. I need to know what happened." The alien warrior tilted her head, studying him. "Help?" she repeated, the word unfamiliar on her tongue. "Humans are weak. They should not survive here. Why do you not fear death?" Ryan smiled faintly. "Because fear doesn't solve anything. And if I show fear, I give my enemy an advantage. I've faced worse than this, and I've survived." Her stance shifted slightly. It wasn't relaxation, but curiosity stirred beneath her caution. She had been trained to eliminate threats, to protect her territory from intruders. No human had ever walked into her domain with such confidence. Ryan's calm demeanor made her pause. "You think your words protect you?" she asked. "You are small. You are weak. You cannot fight me." Ryan shook his head slowly. "I don't fight everyone. Some battles are won with strength and some with strategy, observation, and courage. You'll see the difference soon enough." The alien's claws flexed slightly. She stepped closer, and Ryan noticed the faint hum of her energy blade. His mind raced. If this became a fight, he had only a moment to act. But he remained calm, letting his posture convey confidence rather than aggression. "Step closer and I will end you," she warned, her voice sharper this time. Ryan took another slow step. "I've come a long way. I'm not leaving until I know the truth about the colony. If that means facing you, so be it." The alien warrior's eyes flickered, a mix of surprise and irritation. She had faced dozens of invaders before, and none had dared speak to her like this. Normally, the humans she encountered panicked, ran, or fell quickly in combat. But here was one who did neither. She lunged suddenly, testing his reaction. Ryan dodged instinctively, moving to the side just enough to avoid the swipe of her energy blade. His movements were precise, controlled, trained through years of combat simulations and field experience. She hissed again, realizing he was no ordinary human. "You survive one strike," she said, circling him, "but you will not survive two." Ryan adjusted his stance, keeping his weight balanced. "I don't intend to survive just one strike," he replied. "I intend to survive until I accomplish my mission." The alien paused, her eyes narrowing. There was something different about him. Not fear, not weakness. Something in his mind and his calmness made her hesitate. Few of her kind could understand humans fully. They relied on strength, instinct, and reflex. But humans could be unpredictable. Their courage sometimes defied logic. Ryan used the pause to scan the terrain. He noticed shadows moving in the distance, small alien drones, probably sentries. They watched silently, assessing the encounter. If things went wrong, he would have reinforcements from the aliens he was yet to meet. But for now, it was just him and her. "You step forward too easily," the warrior said. "Few have the courage or the foolishness to do so." Ryan smiled faintly. "Sometimes courage is the only choice. Fools are afraid of everything. I prefer to act." She studied him silently, her instincts warring with curiosity. Normally, fear dictated human actions, but here, calm, deliberate movements replaced panic. She felt a strange tension she couldn't name, a challenge not of strength but of will. "Why do you not draw a weapon?" she asked finally. "Do you expect to survive with nothing?" Ryan shook his head. "Weapons don't always win fights. Mind, courage, and timing often matter more than the strongest blade. Watch, and you may learn something about humans you never expected." The alien's ears twitched slightly. She had fought humans before, but none had ever spoken like this. She had thought them weak, easy to manipulate. And yet here he was, standing firm. Her instincts screamed to strike, to eliminate the threat, but part of her wanted to see what he would do next. Ryan took another step forward, closer to her, unarmed, unafraid. He kept his gaze steady, showing no hesitation. She hissed low in frustration, her muscles tensed, ready to strike, but something inside her paused. For a long moment, silence hung between them. The wind blew dust across the rocky ground. Small creatures scuttled in the distance, but neither moved. Then Ryan spoke again, softly but with certainty. "I'm here to help. Nothing more, but I will not back down." The alien warrior tilted her head, her glowing amber eyes studying him. She saw something humans rarely showed: confidence without arrogance, courage without recklessness. A small part of her mind acknowledged that this human was different. Perhaps he could survive here. Perhaps he could even change her understanding of humans entirely. For the first time, she did not strike. Instead, she stepped back slightly, her blade still ready, her eyes still sharp. But curiosity flickered in her gaze. "You may walk closer," she said, her voice still cold but with a note of intrigue. "But know this. One false move and you will not live to speak of it." Ryan nodded, keeping his movements deliberate. "I understand, and thank you for the chance." As he moved forward, he felt a strange mix of relief and excitement. He knew the next steps would be dangerous. He had no idea what awaited him at the colony or how the alien would act next. But for the first time, he felt a spark of connection in this alien world. Not trust yet, but understanding. A fragile bridge forming between two very different beings. And above him, the alien warrior, Soraya, he would later learn, watched him carefully. He had stepped forward unarmed, unafraid, and in doing so had changed the rules of their encounter. No one had ever faced her this way. No human, not like him. For a moment, the vast alien world seemed to hold its breath, waiting for what would come next. The moment Ryan stepped forward, the tension between him and Soraya did not fade. Instead, it grew sharper, like a taut wire ready to snap. She had allowed him to approach, but she did not fully trust him. Her eyes glowed brighter under the alien sun, scanning every movement he made. Ryan, meanwhile, remained calm, studying the environment as carefully as she studied him. "You will survive only if you prove your worth," Soraya said finally, her voice low and edged with authority. "Follow me, human. You will face tests. Survive them and you may walk freely. Fail, and you will not walk again." Ryan nodded, accepting the challenge without hesitation. "I didn't come here to fight, but I can adapt. Lead the way." Soraya turned, moving with a fluid grace that made Ryan realize just how different her species was. Every step she took was precise, as if the ground itself responded to her presence. Ryan followed carefully, mindful of the rocky terrain beneath his boots. The air grew cooler as they approached a narrow canyon, and jagged stones jutted out from every side. Strange vines with luminous tendrils hung overhead, swaying gently. "This is your first test," Soraya said, pointing to the canyon. "Many have tried to cross it. Few survive. Move carefully. One wrong step and you will be gone." Ryan studied the path. The canyon floor was uneven, with rocks that could shift under weight. In the distance, he noticed small, scuttling creatures with sharp pincers emerging from shadows. He took a deep breath, assessing the risks. You rely on strength alone, but that will not save you here, Soraya continued. You must think, adapt, and act with precision. Ryan nodded again. I understand. He moved forward cautiously. Every step was deliberate, placing his feet where the rocks were stable. When a loose stone shifted, he adjusted immediately, shifting his weight and avoiding a fall. The scuttling creatures noticed him and lunged, but he used a nearby rock to block one's path, letting it slide harmlessly past. Soraya watched silently from above, her amber eyes narrowed. Most humans would have panicked, screaming or running blindly, but Ryan moved like a predator, calculating, observing, responding. His calmness was unnerving and impressive. The canyon narrowed, forcing Ryan to climb over a pile of jagged stones. One of the stones wobbled beneath his weight, threatening to topple him. He caught himself with a handhold on the canyon wall, keeping his balance. The creatures followed, aggressive and fast, but Ryan used a sharp rock to redirect them. They tumbled harmlessly down, unable to continue. Interesting, Soraya muttered. You anticipate threats before they strike. Few can do that. Humans rarely think so clearly under pressure. Ryan's eyes scanned the area ahead. He noticed a pattern in the rock's instability and mapped a safe path in his mind. The canyon opened into a small clearing where the sun hit the ground, revealing deep crevices. From these crevices, larger predators emerged, tall, thin creatures with elongated limbs and sharp claws. Their eyes glowed faintly and their movement was swift and unpredictable. Soraya's voice echoed in the clearing. Your next challenge. Survive this without using weapons and you may continue. Ryan crouched slightly, his mind working rapidly. He could not fight them head-on. They were faster, stronger, and more agile. He had to use strategy. He observed the creatures' movements carefully, noting their patterns and timing. Then, using rocks and the terrain, he created obstacles and barriers, redirecting the predators into natural traps. Some fell into crevices. Others became momentarily confused by the shifting stones. Soraya's lips tightened into a thin line. She had not expected him to use the environment so effectively. Humans often relied on weapons, brute strength, or raw speed, but Ryan relied on his mind. His calm focus and quick thinking allowed him to survive where others would have fallen. One predator lunged at him, faster than he anticipated. Ryan dove to the side, rolling over the rocky ground, and came up behind a large stone. The predator slammed into the rock, stunned briefly. Ryan didn't waste a second. He ran across the clearing, carefully avoiding gaps and unstable stones, using the momentum of the predator's confusion to his advantage. Soraya watched from above, impressed despite herself. Most would be dead by now, she said under her breath. This human, he is not like the others. Ryan reached the edge of the clearing and paused, catching his breath. The predators were behind him but disoriented, giving him a chance to move forward. He noticed a narrow ledge that would take him to safer ground. Timing was crucial. One wrong move and he could fall or alert the predators. He stepped onto the ledge, carefully testing its stability. The rock creaked but held. Step by step he crossed, keeping his balance and awareness high. One predator attempted to leap toward him, but he ducked at the right moment, letting it miss. With a final leap, he reached solid ground. Soraya descended from her perch, landing silently near him. Her armor glinted in the light, and she studied him with a new level of respect. You survived, she said. Not because of strength, but because of your mind. Humans are unpredictable, and yet effective. Ryan wiped sweat from his forehead. Sometimes thinking is more important than fighting, he said simply. I adapt. I survive. She nodded slowly, as if considering the human's words. Few humans survive my tests, she said. Even fewer do so without fear. You are different. Ryan glanced at the predators, now retreating into the shadows. They were never my enemies, he said. I had to avoid conflict not just to survive, but because unnecessary violence achieves nothing. You can't always fight every challenge head-on. Soraya's amber eyes flickered with something unreadable. Curiosity, respect? Perhaps both. You think like a warrior. Yet your methods are unlike any I have seen, she said. Your species may have potential we underestimated. Ryan smiled faintly. Potential exists in all beings. It's not just about strength or speed. It's about courage, quick thinking, and knowing when to act. She studied him for a long moment. The canyon, the predators, and the unstable terrain had all been designed to test strength, endurance, and combat skill. Ryan had passed not by overpowering, but by outthinking and observing. It was a lesson Soraya had not expected to learn from a human. Finally, she stepped aside. "You may continue," she said. "The next trial will test more than your mind. It will test your courage and your judgment. Prepare yourself." Ryan nodded, feeling a mixture of relief and anticipation. Each step into this alien world revealed more danger but also more insight. He had proven something in the canyon, not just to Soraya but to himself. Humans could survive in places no one expected. Humans could adapt and thrive. As they moved forward together, Ryan noticed strange markings on the rocks, symbols that seemed to pulse faintly with energy. Soraya paused, pointing to them. "These are protective glyphs. They mark areas of power and danger. Misstep here and you could face consequences beyond death." Ryan studied the glyphs carefully. They glowed faintly in a rhythmic pattern, almost like a heartbeat. He touched one lightly, feeling a subtle vibration. "Interesting," he murmured. "These could indicate energy patterns or traps. I'll make sure to avoid them." Soraya raised an eyebrow. "You do not fear unknown power?" Ryan shook his head. "Fear is only useful if it sharpens your senses. Blind fear is useless. I study, I plan, I act. That is how I survive." Her eyes softened slightly, though she did not show it openly. Humans were strange creatures, fragile yet resilient, weak yet cunning. She had always relied on strength and instinct, but this human relied on something different: his mind, his courage, and his will. The path ahead was narrow and treacherous. Rocks jutted out at sharp angles, and small glowing creatures darted in the shadows. Ryan moved with precision, avoiding every danger. Soraya followed, silent and watchful, seeing him not as prey, but as an equal in survival skills, albeit a very different kind of warrior. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the canyon, Ryan felt a sense of accomplishment. He had passed the first major challenge, but he knew this was only the beginning. Soraya's tests would grow harder, more dangerous and more unpredictable. And yet, for the first time in this alien world, he felt a small spark of confidence. Humans were underestimated. Humans were clever, courageous, and adaptable. And Ryan intended to prove it step by step, challenge by challenge. Soraya's gaze met his. "Do not mistake your success for immunity," she warned. "The next test will not forgive hesitation." Ryan smiled faintly. "I don't expect forgiveness. I expect challenges. And I will meet them." Together they moved deeper into the alien canyon, the shadows lengthening, the dangers multiplying. But Ryan's courage never wavered. And in that moment, the alien warrior realized that the human before her was no ordinary being. He was a force unlike any she had encountered. The canyon finally opened into a wide, sprawling valley, filled with structures unlike anything Ryan had ever seen. They were built from a strange combination of metal and crystalline material, glowing faintly under the planet's pale sun. The alien settlement seemed alive in its own way. The structures pulsed with energy, and creatures moved silently among them, tending to tasks Ryan could not immediately understand. Soraya stopped at the edge of the valley, her amber eyes scanning the surroundings. "This is my home," she said finally, her voice softer than before. "Few outsiders have ever entered. Fewer still survive long enough to see it." Ryan looked around, impressed but careful. "It's incredible," he admitted. "I've never seen anything like this before. How did your people build all of this?" Soraya didn't answer immediately. Instead, she led him down a winding path that descended into the settlement. The ground beneath them was smooth and firm, but Ryan noticed small energy fields shimmering at the edges of some walkways. He recognized them as some kind of protective barrier. "You have defenses everywhere," he observed. Soraya nodded. "We protect what is ours. Outsiders are dangerous, but you have passed the first tests. You move with caution and thought. Perhaps you are different from the others." Ryan smiled faintly. "I hope so. I didn't come here to fight, only to help. But I'm ready to face whatever challenges are necessary to do that." They passed through a large archway into the heart of the settlement. Aliens of various shapes and sizes moved through the streets. Some were tall and armored like Soraya, while others were smaller and more delicate, carrying tools or tending to energy conduits. Ryan kept his hands visible and walked slowly, letting them see he was unarmed. A few aliens stopped and watched him curiously, whispering among themselves in a language Ryan could not understand. Soraya's voice broke the silence. "Do not speak unless spoken to," she warned. "Many here will be wary of you. Humans are rare, and rare things are often met with fear." Ryan nodded. "Understood." As they moved deeper, he saw evidence of the settlement's advanced technology. Energy bridges spanned over wide gaps, linking buildings without support beams. Crystalline conduits pulsed with light, channeling power in ways he had never seen. He marveled quietly, careful not to disturb anything. Finally, they reached a central plaza. At its center was a tall obelisk-like structure, glowing with a soft blue light. Around it, aliens gathered, speaking in low tones and gesturing to one another. Soraya stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. The crowd grew silent, their amber eyes fixed on her. "This human has survived the canyon," she announced. "He is here to help us understand what has happened to the colony. I vouch for him, but you will observe him carefully. Trust must be earned." The aliens shifted, some nodding, others still wary. Ryan bowed slightly, showing respect. "I am honored to be here," he said simply. "I do not intend to harm anyone. My only goal is to help those in need." A few moments of silence passed. Then an older alien stepped forward. His skin was pale with faint markings, and his eyes glowed softly. "You speak boldly, human," he said. "Many speak, but few act with truth. You have passed the first tests, but trust is earned through deeds, not words." Ryan met his gaze steadily. "Then I will prove myself with actions. I promise to respect your people and help however I can." Soraya's eyes flicked to him, a hint of approval in her expression. She had seen courage before, but she had never seen it so calm and unwavering. Most humans relied on bluffing, aggression, or luck. Ryan relied on something different. Careful observation, patience, and courage. "Follow me," Soraya said after a moment. "You will see more of our ways. You will learn, and perhaps you will understand why humans are so often underestimated." Ryan followed her through winding streets, observing the aliens' daily routines. Some were working on machinery that hummed with energy. Others were training in combat or testing weapons. The way they moved, coordinated, and communicated fascinated him. He realized that strength alone was not the measure of their society. It was skill, discipline, and focus. They reached a high terrace overlooking the settlement. From there, Ryan could see the canyon where he had proven himself earlier. He pointed toward it. "I survived the canyon," he said, "but I know there will be more challenges ahead. I'm ready." Soraya's gaze followed his, thoughtful. "Many have survived the canyon. Few have survived it without fear. You are different. You do not fight because you must. You fight because you understand what is at stake." Ryan nodded. "Exactly. I fight to protect, to adapt, to survive, but not recklessly. Every action has a purpose." Soraya studied him for a long moment. "Perhaps humans are not as weak as I believed," she said quietly. "Perhaps there is more to your kind than raw strength. Perhaps there is potential we have not seen." Ryan felt a small thrill of satisfaction. He knew humans were underestimated, but hearing an alien warrior acknowledge it was different. "We can surprise you," he said softly. "Not with brute force, but with determination, ingenuity, and courage." They descended into a smaller courtyard where young aliens trained in combat. Soraya stopped and gestured toward them. "Watch carefully," she said. "These are our future warriors. Observe how they move, how they strike. Then remember, the human mind can match or exceed any physical strength if used wisely." Ryan observed quietly. The young aliens moved with precision and discipline, practicing with weapons and hand-to-hand techniques. He noted their strengths, their patterns, and their weaknesses. His mind worked quickly, analyzing what he could learn from them and what they could learn from him. "Your species is unique," Soraya said, her voice low. "Humans are fragile yet resilient. You survive through intellect, through courage, and through unexpected action. Few here understand that." Ryan glanced at her. "It's not just me. Humans have always survived against odds that seemed impossible. We find ways to adapt, to think, and to act when others would panic. That's what makes us strong, even if we look weak at first." Soraya's eyes flickered with something almost like admiration. "Then perhaps there is hope," she said. "Hope that your kind can walk among us not as intruders but as allies." Ryan smiled faintly. "That is my goal. To understand, to help, and to prove that cooperation can be stronger than fear." For a while they walked in silence, observing the settlement. Ryan noticed the care with which the aliens treated their environment, their attention to detail, and the efficiency of their technology. Each observation added to his understanding of their society, their strengths and their vulnerabilities. Finally, they reached a large building at the center of the settlement. It was taller than the others, with glowing patterns etched into its walls. Soraya paused at the entrance. "This is where you will learn more about us," she said. "Here you will understand our ways, our challenges, and perhaps your place among us." Ryan stepped inside carefully. The interior was filled with soft light, and crystalline panels lined the walls. Energy flowed through conduits, and soft hums filled the air. He could feel the power of the place, not just physical, but intellectual, strategic, and spiritual. Soraya watched him, her expression unreadable. "Do not be afraid," she said. "Knowledge is as dangerous as strength, but it is also the key to survival. You will learn quickly or you will fail." Ryan nodded. "I'm ready," he said. "I've faced danger, adapted to challenges, and survived. I can learn whatever you teach me." The alien warrior's amber eyes softened slightly. "Then perhaps you will see that humans are capable of more than we have ever realized." As Ryan began to explore the building, learning about alien technology, strategy, and culture, he felt a sense of purpose grow within him. He was no longer just a visitor or a survivor. He was becoming a bridge between human courage and alien wisdom, between two very different worlds. For the first time since he landed, Ryan felt a quiet confidence. Humans were underestimated, yes, but in this place, in this moment, he realized that courage, intelligence, and adaptability could earn respect even from the most formidable of alien warriors. Soraya watched him silently, aware that this human was changing something in her perception of her own people. He was not merely surviving. He was learning, understanding, and earning trust. And in doing so, he was proving that humans, small, fragile, and underestimated, could stand alongside even the strongest alien warriors. The valley was quiet in the late afternoon sun, but Ryan sensed the tension in the air. Soraya had led him deeper into the settlement, teaching him about their technology and culture, but now something felt wrong. A distant vibration rippled through the ground, subtle but unmistakable, a warning that danger was approaching. Soraya's amber eyes narrowed. "They are coming," she said quietly. "A hostile faction. They have discovered your presence and seek to eliminate both you and anyone who aids you." Ryan stepped forward, his expression calm but focused. "How many?" he asked. "Too many to fight directly," Soraya replied. "They are fast, strong, and ruthless. You will need more than courage to survive this." Ryan nodded. He had faced impossible odds before, and he knew panic would achieve nothing. "Then we adapt," he said. "We use what we have, think ahead, and act strategically." Soraya studied him for a moment, a flicker of respect crossing her face. "You truly are different from other humans," she said. "Very well, follow me. We must prepare the settlement." The two of them moved swiftly, alerting the other warriors and the inhabitants of the valley. Ryan observed how Soraya's people reacted. There was no panic, only precise coordination. Defensive barriers were activated, energy conduits powered up, and the young warriors who had been training earlier took their positions with practiced discipline. Ryan quickly assessed the situation. The attackers would likely try to breach the outer perimeter first. He suggested moving some of the more vulnerable inhabitants to the inner sanctum and creating traps along the main paths leading into the settlement. Soraya listened carefully, nodding as he outlined his plan. "You think like a strategist," she said. "Most humans rely on brute force. Your mind is impressive," Ryan smiled faintly. "Brains and courage can sometimes win battles before they begin. Let's see if we can outsmart them." As the sun dipped lower, shadows stretched across the valley, and the first signs of the hostile faction appeared on the horizon. Sleek dark ships hovered above the cliffs, releasing rapid response units that glided silently toward the settlement. The warriors braced themselves, and Ryan felt a surge of adrenaline, not fear but focus. The first wave of attackers landed near the canyon's edge. Ryan observed their movement patterns and directed the settlement's defenses. Barricades shifted, energy fields activated, and strategically placed obstacles slowed the enemy advance. Even the young warriors contributed, using their agility to harass the attackers and disrupt their formations. Soraya fought alongside them, her blade flashing in the sunlight as she struck with precision. Ryan noticed how the alien warriors adapted to his tactics, following his lead without hesitation. Together, they formed a seamless coordination of strategy, skill, and timing. One of the attackers lunged at Ryan directly. He sidestepped quickly, using the momentum of the enemy to push them into a trap he had prepared moments earlier. The predator stumbled, caught by a net of energy lines that immobilized it temporarily. Ryan moved on, keeping his focus sharp and his mind analyzing every move. Soraya glanced at him during a brief pause in the battle. "You are calm under fire," she said. "Few humans could maintain this composure. Most would panic." Ryan shook his head. "Panic doesn't solve problems. Observation and quick thinking do." He adjusted a set of energy barriers to create a funnel, forcing more of the attackers into the traps. Each move was precise, calculated, and effective. The attackers were strong and aggressive, but Ryan's unconventional strategies gave the settlement an unexpected advantage. He combined stealth with timing, creating opportunities where brute strength alone could not succeed. One by one, the enemy units fell into traps, disoriented, or were driven back by the coordinated defense. Soraya's respect for Ryan grew with every passing moment. She had always relied on her strength, speed, and combat skill, but here was a human who demonstrated that courage and intellect could challenge even the most formidable adversaries. His calmness under pressure inspired others, giving the settlement warriors confidence they might not have felt otherwise. The battle raged for hours. Ryan moved quickly, using his knowledge of the terrain to set up defensive advantages. He directed younger warriors to safer positions while guiding experienced fighters toward strategic points where they could maximize their impact. Every move was deliberate, and every action contributed to turning the tide. As night fell, the attackers regrouped for a final push. Ryan and Soraya stood side by side, ready to face them. The settlement was battered but intact, its defenses holding strong thanks to the careful planning and bravery of everyone involved. "You have changed this fight," Soraya said quietly, her blade glowing softly. "Your strategies have saved lives." "Humans are stronger than I imagined," Ryan nodded. "Strength isn't just about muscles or weapons. It's about courage, adaptation, and using your mind. That's how we survive." The enemy surged forward, but Ryan had anticipated their movements. He activated a series of traps, sending energy nets and barriers into their path. Confused and slowed, the attackers were easy targets for the settlement's warriors. Soraya struck with precision, cutting down those who tried to bypass the defenses. Together, they created a combination of force and strategy that the enemy could not overcome. Slowly, the tide turned. The attackers began to retreat, their losses mounting and their formations breaking apart. Ryan stayed alert, ensuring no stragglers could take advantage of the chaos. Every step he took was measured, every decision calculated. Finally, the last of the attackers fled into the night. The valley was silent once more, save for the heavy breathing of the defenders and the faint hum of the settlement's energy systems. Ryan lowered his stance, surveying the aftermath. The settlement had survived and the enemy had been repelled, not through raw strength alone, but through courage, strategy, and careful planning. Soraya approached him, her expression a mixture of relief and admiration. "You have done what few could," she said. "Not just survived, but led. You have proven your worth in battle." Ryan nodded, his chest rising and falling with exertion. "We survived together. It wasn't just me. Everyone here contributed." She studied him for a moment, her amber eyes softening. "You are remarkable. Humans are often underestimated. You have shown that courage and intelligence can overcome even the most dangerous foes. Perhaps your kind is stronger than we believed." Ryan smiled faintly. "We survive because we adapt, because we think, and because we refuse to give up. That is what makes us strong, even when others doubt us." The warriors gathered around, looking at Ryan with newfound respect. Even those who had been skeptical before now saw the value of his calm courage and strategic thinking. He had not only survived but had inspired others to fight beyond fear, showing that a human could challenge expectations and achieve the impossible. Soraya placed a hand on his shoulder, a gesture of acknowledgement. "You have changed my understanding of humans," she said. "Not just their courage, but their ability to lead and inspire. You have earned my respect, and the respect of this settlement." Ryan nodded, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. He had come to this alien world as an outsider, unarmed and untested. Now he had proven that courage, intelligence, and calm determination could achieve what brute strength alone could not. As the night settled over the valley, Ryan and Soraya stood together, surveying the quiet settlement. The battle was over, but the lessons learned would endure. Ryan had faced impossible odds, survived, and earned trust. not through aggression or dominance, but through courage, intellect, and careful action. And in that moment, the alien warrior understood something she had never realized before. Humans were not to be underestimated. They were clever, brave, and adaptable, and when faced with impossible challenges, they could rise above expectations, earning respect even from the strongest alien warriors. Ryan's calm presence, his thoughtful strategies, and his courage under pressure had not only saved lives but had shifted perceptions. Soraya realized that he was no ordinary human. He was a symbol of what her people had underestimated for too long. For Ryan, the battle had reinforced a truth he had always known. Survival depended not just on strength, but on courage, quick thinking, and the willingness to act when others hesitated. And in this alien world, he had proven that humans could face even the deadliest threats and prevail. The morning sun bathed the valley in a warm glow, revealing the damage from the battle the night before. Broken energy barriers shimmered faintly as repairs were underway, and the warriors worked in organized silence, rebuilding their defenses. Ryan walked among them, observing and assisting where he could. The settlement had survived, but the cost of defense had been high. Soraya approached him, her amber eyes reflecting both pride and concern. "The attackers have retreated, but they may return," she said. "We cannot assume victory is permanent. Preparation and vigilance are essential." Ryan nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "Then we strengthen the defenses, train the warriors, and plan ahead," he said. "We make sure we are ready if they return, and we learn from what happened." Soraya studied him for a moment, a faint smile forming. "You have changed much in one day," she said. "Your courage, your thinking, and your leadership. You have shown my people what humans are capable of." Ryan felt a quiet pride. He had come to this alien world as an outsider, unarmed and unfamiliar with their ways, and now he was trusted and respected. "I only did what was necessary," he said. "Courage and clear thinking can achieve what brute strength alone cannot." Soraya nodded. "And yet, what is necessary is often more than what you expect. Today you have done more than survive. You have inspired others to fight beyond fear, to think beyond instinct, and to trust beyond tradition." Together they moved to the central plaza where the settlement's leaders had gathered. The older alien who had first spoken to Ryan stepped forward, his pale markings glowing faintly. "You have done what few outsiders could," he said. "Not only did you survive our trials, but you also led us to victory when we faced the enemy. Your presence has proven that courage and intellect are as valuable as strength." Ryan bowed slightly. "I am honored," he said, "but I did not act alone. Your people's skill, bravery, and discipline made victory possible. I only helped guide what was already strong." Soraya placed a hand on Ryan's shoulder. "Your humility is as admirable as your skill," she said. "You have earned not just respect but trust. You are no longer a mere visitor. You are an ally, and perhaps even a part of this people." The other warriors and inhabitants watched, their eyes reflecting admiration and curiosity. Humans were rare here, and Ryan had not only survived but had proven himself invaluable. Whispers of approval and astonishment spread through the crowd. Ryan felt a sense of belonging, an unusual but welcome feeling. He had always known humans were underestimated, but here, in this alien world, he had shown that determination, intelligence, and courage could earn trust and respect, even among the strongest and most disciplined alien warriors. Soraya led Ryan to the high terrace overlooking the settlement. From there he could see the valley and the canyon beyond, now quiet and peaceful. The enemy had been driven back and the settlement was safe for now. "You understand something now, human," Soraya said quietly. "Strength is not always physical. Leadership is not always claimed by birthright or combat skill. True strength is knowing when to act, how to adapt, and how to inspire others. Today you have demonstrated all of these." Ryan nodded. "And I've learned something too," he said. "Even the strongest warriors, the most disciplined societies can benefit from new perspectives. Courage, strategy, and clear thinking can make a difference no matter the world." Soraya's eyes softened. "Perhaps humans are more than we imagined. Perhaps our species has underestimated yours for too long." Ryan smiled faintly. "We survive because we adapt. We fight when necessary. We think when others panic, and we keep moving forward, even when the odds seem impossible." The elder alien approached once more. "Your actions have forged a new path," he said. "The humans are no longer distant or weak in our eyes. They are capable allies, capable of facing challenges that even we could not anticipate." Your courage has changed perceptions. Ryan's heart swelled with quiet pride. He had not sought glory or recognition. He had sought to survive, to understand, and to help. And in doing so, he had achieved something far greater than he expected. He had bridged two worlds, earning trust, respect, and even friendship. Soraya stepped beside him, her expression unreadable but calm. "The enemy may return," she said. "But now we face them not only with our strength, but with intelligence, strategy, and cooperation. And we will be ready." Ryan studied the horizon, feeling the weight of what had been accomplished. The settlement was alive, its people resilient and disciplined. The warriors had fought bravely, inspired in part by his presence and guidance. He had proven that humans could face danger without fear, adapt to challenges, and lead when necessary. "Your kind has potential," Soraya said quietly. "Not only for survival, but for leadership, for alliance, for understanding. Today you have shown what humans are capable of." Ryan smiled. "And you have shown me that even the most disciplined and formidable warriors can be inspired by courage and thought. We all have strengths, but together, we are stronger." The settlement's inhabitants began to move more freely, repairing structures, tending to energy conduits, and reinforcing defenses. Ryan joined them, helping where he could, offering guidance and encouragement. His presence became a symbol, a reminder that courage, intellect, and adaptability could achieve what raw strength alone could not. As the sun climbed higher, Ryan stood with Soraya on the terrace once more. The valley below was alive with activity, warriors training, engineers repairing, and citizens going about their tasks. Peace had returned, at least for now. Soraya looked at Ryan, her amber eyes reflecting a mixture of respect and contemplation. "You have done more than survive," she said. "You have changed our perception of humans. You have proven that courage, intelligence, and calm determination can rival even the strongest of warriors. You have earned a place among us." Ryan nodded, feeling the weight of her words. "I never sought to prove anything," he said. "I only wanted to survive and help. But I understand now that actions speak louder than words. Courage, planning, and determination can inspire others even across worlds." Soraya's expression softened further. "Then perhaps this is the beginning, not the end. Humans and our people may learn from one another, grow stronger together, and face the future with combined courage and wisdom." Ryan looked out over the valley, the canyon, and the distant horizon. The challenges had been immense, but the lessons were clear. Courage, adaptability, and intelligence could overcome fear, and even the most powerful threats. Humans were underestimated, yes, but in moments of trial they could rise above expectation, earning respect, trust, and alliance. He turned to Soraya. "We have survived together," he said, "and perhaps we will continue to thrive together, facing whatever challenges come next, as allies, as friends, and as beings willing to act when others hesitate." Soraya nodded, her eyes reflecting quiet approval. "You have proven your worth," she said, "not only as a human but as a warrior of mind and courage. You have changed how we see your species, and perhaps how we see ourselves." Ryan felt a sense of peace he had not expected. He had arrived in this alien world untested, uncertain, and alone. Now he had faced danger, adapted to an alien environment, earned trust, and inspired others through his courage and intellect. He had proven that humans, though fragile in appearance, could achieve greatness when they acted with purpose, strategy, and bravery. The valley below thrived, the settlement's energy glowing softly, and the people moved with renewed determination. Ryan stood beside Soraya, knowing that this was not the end of challenges but a beginning. The human spirit, he realized, could shine even in the most alien worlds, earning respect, trust, and hope. And as he looked to the horizon, Ryan knew one truth above all. Humans were underestimated, yes, but courage, intelligence, and determination could change that perception forever. He smiled faintly. In this alien world, he had proven the enduring strength of humanity.